So a couple days ago, I had vision of, it was actually a dream, space vision, where I found myself in a city or a town, and it was dark, it was night, and that song, "You brighten up even the darkest night," and I sat on that for a while because I didn't understand it. Somebody mentioned earlier that when the mother leaves, if the mother leaves, it's not going to be in a like an ascension like they talk about in the Bible, that it actually isn't going to be all that grand, because all of the chosen will leave with her, meaning the luminaries, those who bring light to the world. Science says that it is the sun that illuminates the land. And that could potentially be. However, the sun is also linked to all of humanity. And what happens at nighttime with humanity? They go to sleep. The sun sets and the people sleep. And the sun rises and the people wake to a new dawn. They go hand in hand. I'm feeling as though maybe that was a premonition, a vision of the future. The stars and the suns, the luminescent ones that are linked intimately with the big orb in the sky, which is a portal into another world. Perhaps the world that you come from, Shining One. And I'm beginning to think that the mother is claiming all of the children. And by children, I don't mean, babies and such, although I'm sure that is included, but it's also the inner child of each person, that incorruptible soul and spirit that is linked to the divine with that silver cord, right? Everybody who has maintained their soul and that incorruptibility of innocence is linked there. And it appears to me as though the son and the mother have risen through the tree of life. They've made it all the way up to the crown, so they didn't get bogged down by book smarts and book knowledge and stories of religion and such. They actually went through the suffering, walked through the valley of the shadow of death, and climbed that ladder all the way to the top and built the bridge to the higher dimensional realms beyond the sun, which is the portal home. And so everybody is coming online. Everybody is glowing and gathering. Toby! Toby! I had some visitors knocking at the door. So anyway, there's a graduation happening. in the Bible, it does say that, keep your lantern lit. Something about the 3 days of darkness, keep your lantern lit. The only thing that'll show light is those special wax candles or whatever. And that could be for a specific mindset or prophecy. But there's 2 prophecies, and I don't know the details of either of them. But in the 3 days of darkness, those Christed beings, or those who embody the essence of the sun, will have that light on. They don't need to burn a specific candle made out of a specific wax that has been having a specific ritual of blessing over it, right? Because they are the walking lantern. And in this place that I was in, this place of darkness, there wasn't anybody there. And it was all very dark, except I could see where everything was. It was like I was lighting up the area that I was in, but there wasn't anybody there. They were all gone. So we may actually be coming up on that time. I know this curator of vital force, life force essence, as I've come to know him to be, and his team or whatever. We're talking about something happening on the 18th. That's only 5 days from now. They've been talking about needing what did they call that? Tissue from someone who has done it. And I'm guessing, Toby! And I'm guessing that means they need tissue from somebody. Toby! He's very, very serious about guarding. They're not even there. So anyway, there was somebody talking about needing tissue from someone who has done it, meaning, I believe, who has walked through the valley of the shadow of death. They've rose up out of that darkness, and they've graduated up into the crown and built the bridge to the heavens, to the divine, to source beyond the sun. And they're seen, recognized, frequency coded, matched, whatever, and they will be leaving. And there's entities here needing tissue from someone who has done it. The divine masculine of a greater degree mentioned 9-10 months ago that they will never find what they're looking for. And they're fighting for it. And they're dying for it. And they may even, I've had a vision too where 3 masculines had actually captured a feminine, and I believe that they did take her life force vitality and dress up in it. But then I also saw a vision of them losing it. And the song, I Want It All, like the Most High isn't messing around. If they're dressing themselves up in the essence of a divine being who has the tissue that did it, that made it, he's taken that essence. He's reclaiming the essence. They do not get to wear it. They do not get to be recognized as it. So in this 3 days of darkness or whatever, and I don't know, it could be an eternity, but I'm thinking maybe it's the 3 days, if they don't have special candles or anything. if they don't have the special candles, and if they're not dressed up in the light. And it could be that they're, hey, look there, buddy. And it could very well be that the candles of the special wax is an earth angelic, is a luminescent being, that they, 3 of those masculines were dressed up in her light, and the Most High said, I want it all. And he came down, and I saw them turn into flesh and bone, like without, just skin and bone, no flesh. So it's like every ounce of energy that they had dressed up in, not only just of that beautiful sister that they had gotten a hold of, but whoever that they had gotten a hold of prior to that. He sucked all the energy right out of them, and they became a skeleton covered in skin. They aged very, very rapidly. So in this 3 days of darkness, I don't know if that happens after. Like, I think the Christed beings or the light-bearing beings may actually be teleported, transported, particle. There might be a particle event. I've heard these ones talking about a particle event, like the frequency that the light-bearing beings are in or being tuned to will be claimed, and the world will be in darkness because the luminescent beings will be gone. And I think that the sun, the portal, will shut down, perhaps for 3 days, and the earth will be darkness, and everything that's left here, I don't know, something happens, because they were gone. Everybody was gone. Now, during solar eclipses, it gets really cold really fast. In this vision of this dark space that I was in, where the divine said, you brighten up even the darkest night. Your light was gone. Everybody was gone. And there wasn't anybody left. So I don't know what happened to them. Anyhow, I wanted to share that message with you. My apologies about my dog doing his guarding business. He's very, very serious about that, and he does not mess around. Not in the slightest. He happens to take his job very, very seriously, like so many beings in this world, regardless of the dimension or the realm. I wanted to share that vision with you. I've been holding on to it because I thought maybe it was back. But then, Toby, some time ago, also, I had astrally gone to a space, and it seemed to me maybe the future, and it was also dark there. And I was standing, there were people there at that time, and there was a masculine there, and I had to use the restroom. And he said that they weren't supposed to use it at nighttime because there wasn't enough electricity to flush the toilet. And so I said, well, what do we do then? And he goes, well, we use it anyway. So there was no light in this place. The city was very, very dark at night. There was no electricity really that was being utilized. I mean, there were a couple lights on in this space, but they weren't supposed to run any of their electronic appliances or do anything like that because there just wasn't any power. There was no energy. So you can tie all of that in together and take it as it resonates. I'll see you on the next one.